very short amount of time. Phoenix, for the month of October, just for some perspective, we average about half an inch of rain. So keep that in mind as we go through this story here. We typically see our highs around 93. We're going to be well below that here Saturday and Sunday. Very cool with all the clouds and the showers that are coming in for us as we head over the weekend. So there's Priscilla. That was that first blob of moisture that I was talking about. And even though Priscilla starts to die down, the moisture doesn't just fall. You know, sometimes you're just so tired you just want to fall into a puddle. Well, this doesn't just, boom, disappear. That moisture and the energy continues to move into the southwest. That's the first part of moisture. And then we have that secondary blob of moisture that's going to be coming up northbound here. And so there it is coming in this weekend. This is that synoptic system, that huge upper level piece of energy coming in to squeeze that moisture out of the atmosphere and enhance the lift that we'll be getting. Notice Phoenix down to Tucson. Now, this is a European model. Tucson averages 0.6 of an inch of rain. Can we get 3 to 5? It's going to be outrageous if that's the case. The GFS has everything a little bit farther south, but 5 to 8, 8 to 12, that would be utterly devastating. Things start happening tomorrow. That's why we do have the threat for flooding, but it really ramps up as we head into the weekend. So we'll see a few showers today. By the way, this is not our rainy season. The monsoon season was a couple months ago. We really see rainfall typically drop off this time of year, so it's very abnormal. But watch these threats for flooding all the way through our Sunday, and I think that the threat is going to go up, actually, over time. I think it'll be more than just possible. Tucson, there's your 0.6 of an inch. We could see 2 to 3 inches. It's a lot. Phoenix, 1 to 2, maybe more. So we will keep a very close eye on what's happening here. There it is, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's your big trough coming in too. Saturday, really wet for us into the Four Corners. And I think as we head into our Sunday, that's when really a lot of the problems are going to continue, especially for southern portions of Arizona and New Mexico. This is our forecast where we have that 2 to 3, and we desperately need the rain, Jordan, but too much too fast is going to be very problematic.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
here.
It does.
I remember our CEO brought us coffee on Nemo. That was really nice. So, Tom, if you're listening, hey, remember that. Anyway, let's talk about what we got. We've had 287 of these.
Yeah, we have.
So
starting back in 2012, 2013. This is something the Weather Channel does. We have a naming committee that comes up with the name. And we continue it here. We've had an average of 23. And the reason we continue it, the reason that we do it is because it boosts awareness. You can remember. We now remember, like.
I know, it's true.
Because I'd be like, oh, remember, Jim, there was that big snowstorm. What year was that? I can't remember. Now at least we can say the name.
Well, and you know what else, too, is how you feel about this is your decision. But I see insurance companies mentioning it.
Yeah.
I see people that have plow services mentioning it. I mean, it's out there, so it does create that recognition.
Listen, if it helps you, great. It doesn't hurt anyone that we name storms. So if,
No.
know.
And the criteria is much harder, as you found out last year. Mike had a great idea to kind of change the criteria a little bit, Mike Bettis, and we kind of all adopted it. So I agree, 100%.
So our earliest named storm was October 3rd.
Yep.
Typically, we get it November 2nd. But we've had Tad in May. That was in Colorado.
Right. Well, we're right in the middle of
Which is no shock.
Yeah, Denver would give them the criteria needed to name it. So obviously, January, February, March, that's the big winter months. But there's always a tail end, Charlie.
There always is. So the first date of our measurable snow, we've already seen some in the west, which we'll show you. That's no shocker, right? September, October, we start to see that snow here. The snowiest months on average, again, really no surprise here with that Jan-Feb on the map.
So, Steph, if we don't have a landfalling hurricane this summer, it's just going to be a mess, and it's going to be dangerous to swim out there. Even though, Steph, we still have some of the warmest water of the season.
We do.
We've really had no super cold air mass out here, so it's still very warm and very comfortable.
Yeah, and by the way, that warmth, the difference in the temperature also helps with this low pressure to develop here along the coast.
Right, the differential, absolutely right.
Differential does make a huge difference. Now, the other factor we have to worry about is the rain that's coming in with this. Heaviest rain looks like it will be here into parts of the Outer Banks and then up into the Mid-Atlantic. That's where the Euro has it. GFS has it a little more to the north, but you get the gist. Up and down the East Coast, by the way, underneath all that rain and cloud cover, it will be below average. We do have that potential for flooding from Florida all the way up into North Carolina. As we head over the next couple of days, that will shift Saturday and Sunday to the Carolinas and into the Northeast, all the way up into the Jersey Shore. Not a great weekend there. This is our boundary coming in. That goes south. Watch low pressure develop. This is going to crawl up the coast. Don't forget, high pressure to the north, clockwise flow around that, counterclockwise flow around that. So you get this pressure gradient, which accelerates the winds here along the coast. Notice the rain, the winds, the ocean. Sunday, Monday, it takes until as we head into really our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for this to finally push out as a trough is going to be moving eastbound, and we will see finally improving conditions. It's going to be a long entities that are going to bother us. But we do have a front today that is bringing the rain into the East Coast. Boston, Jim was mentioning there's some flooding going on there. We also have construction at the airport that is slowing our travel down here into Boston. Right now, our visibility has dropped from last hour now to 2 miles visibility. No winds, but we do have a ground delay of an hour 14. Again, we do have construction that has been an ongoing issue here with delays at the Boston airport. We could have some issues today as we do have that rain that's coming on through for us. I-95 is where the rain will be at, but it is going to be clearing out, which is good. You can notice where the back edge of that is. It's going to move fairly quickly because by early afternoon, Philly, New York will start clearing out, but it takes a little bit later in the day for it fully to get out of Massachusetts. But look at the sunshine that's going to be in as we go into tomorrow. But Boston, we are wet, and we are going to stay wet for that lunchtime hour.
Well, record